Good morning and welcome back. It is the last day of May. Thank you guys so much for being on this journey with me this month and raising awareness and increasing education on the dangers of skin cancer. Now, I know in the grand scheme of cancer battles, ours has been a very mild case. I mean, really, it has, and we're grateful and thankful for that, and we'll definitely be taking the precautions that we've talked about this month to ensure that we don't have to have this battle again later on in life. But our story began just about exactly a year ago. It's about the 1 year anniversary. In just a few days, I'm very fair skinned. I have redder hair. I have the genetics. I have lots of precursors. And so, I've had some moles removed in the past. And you always have that thought there, skin cancer, just keep an eye on things. Anything changes. But when you have so many moles and so many freckles, they say, keep an eye on all of them. Well, seriously, I've got tons, Um, so I always had one on my upper arm, on my left arm, and it was big. I mean, size of a quarter, maybe probably a little less, but it was more like a big freckle. It was flat, it was big, it was light, it was no big deal. It was ugly, but they all are. So it was never any big deal. And I honestly can't say when I noticed. I'm gonna say as early as 2019. I noticed there was a portion of it that started changing. It was now doming, and it had always been flat, like a giant freckle. And it started like growing, and I think it had been actually going a while before I even, kind of acknowledged it. But we had our 20th anniversary coming up, and we were going on a cruise, and I knew because it was flat that they would have to cut deep and which would require stitches, and I'm going to the Caribbean and I am so not dealing with that. And so I put it off, and then we just happened to kind of fall into another cruise a couple months later, and so I put it off, and we get back and it is March 2020, and we all know what happened in March 2020, and the pandemic hit, and so you put it off a little bit more. And finally in June, my daughter was going to the doctor for something, and I'm like, you know what? I suppose I better just get this taken care of. I know it's cancer. I mean, obviously, it's growing, but it's not a big deal. I'll cut it off. It's just a skin cancer, and no big deal. We'll get it cut off. End of story. So June 2nd, I had it cut off. About inch and a half, maybe incision this way. 7 stitches, no big deal. I'll survive. I hate stitches. I hate anything piercing my skin, but it went on. That was Monday or Tuesday. The Friday of that week, June 5th, I was heading out of town to go garage dealing with my girls, and I get the phone call, and it didn't impact me so much at the time because, I knew it was cancer. I knew she said it was skin cancer, it was melanoma. Lots of words that, okay, she thought they had good margins. It was basically the end of story. Okay, but of course follow up with dermatology now because they're going to want to check the rest of you. Obviously, that makes perfect sense to me. So we go about our merry way. We went on, I got my stitches out, a couple weeks went by. My appointment was July 6th for dermatology. We were on family vacation before that, and looking back, we were very, very ignorant and uneducated. But our first indicator that we ignored because we were ignorant came the Wednesday before the Thursday that we were heading home from our family vacation. And they're like, we see you have an appointment on the 6th. This is dermatology. We need to see you this week. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm on vacation. I can come in Friday. So 5-minute visit, it's no big deal. It's a one visit my husband did not go with me for because it's just a skin check, it's quick. Well, I was there. Well, my second indicator came when I checked in, and they're like, so you're seeing 2 doctors today? And I'm like, no. Again, all these red flags, and I'm just, they're all flying past me. That's no big deal. I was there for 2 hours that day and came home, and I'm having surgery on July 6th, which was supposed to be my day. So they just wanted, because I'm young, which I love hearing, um, because I'm young and because it's melanoma, it's very aggressive. They want to make sure that they got everything. So they wanted to go in and take more. So he's like, it'll be maybe 3 inches. No big deal. We're also going to take some, possibly take some lymph nodes from under your arm, because when it moves in the bloodstream, that's the first place that it goes. And again, we're very uneducated. And we kind of started, after surgery, starting looking a little bit into, okay, what is, is this serious? And then you stop researching because you see that it is. But anyway, I had my surgery, and it was rough. He did a lot more damage than I think he realized, and it was a lot more than we expected. He cut a lot more than we expected. He took more lymph nodes than we expected. Everything was so much worse than we expected. It was months, like 6 months, before I gained full mobility, and I still don't have some feeling in that arm. It's still tender a year later. It's still not fun. So it was massive. It was 6 inches, over 20 stitches. And then at the end of that week, he called, and they found cancer in the lymph nodes. And that was kind of when, because skin cancer is just, it's on your skin. It's no big deal. Cut off, end of story. But now you've got cancer in your body. And that, even your average Joe knows that is serious. So, oncology. So we start oncology at the end of August. PET scans, MRIs, all of these. Everything looked really good. Everything was fine. I didn't see anything more. Thank God. Hallelujah. It was great. We decided to take the option to do a year of Keytruda, which is an immunotherapy. It's kind of the opposite of cancer. Whereas cancer will destroy everything, immunotherapy kind of boosts your immune system, so it goes after any abnormal cells. So we opted to do a year of that, thinking it's no big deal. I hate needles. It's every 3 weeks. I had it counted out how many needles it would be, because I have to have labs first and then the IV. And it's in Sioux Falls. It's an hour away. And so we started Keytruda, and we started what I called Keytruda roulette. And every 3 weeks we would have something new, some new side effect, some new symptom, and they varied. It was interesting, and they would shut down at the end of the round and start up. Something different would start up. It took out my thyroid. My thyroid levels were supposed to be a 3, and they were 124. So we start meds for that. And then in October, I had just had enough of the needles, because the treatments also take out your veins. So, I'm like, I can't keep doing this. And so I opted for a power port, which they put in my chest in October, which I really, really did not want to do. I hate things in my skin like that, and I knew it was going to really bother me, but I also knew I couldn't. It was just the option at the time, the best option. And it was as bad as my arm almost. It was never right from the beginning. It always hurt. It always bothered me. There was always pain. Treatment days were much better. It was a simple poke. It wasn't, it didn't involve tears, we'll put it that way, like all of the others had. But it was there, and it was going to be what was going to be. Christmas was good. I started having better months. The side effects started being a little bit less. Tired, always fatigued, always exhausted. But, I have a great support system, and it was going okay. Halfway through January, I woke up one morning and my portal was infected, and seriously infected, and spent the week in the hospital. during which I learned that I was allergic to an antibiotic and had at the time a near-death experience, almost killed my husband. It was really super scary. Um, they gave me meds to counter effect the reaction I was having to the antibiotic, and it took a scary turn, but that all went fine. And then Friday of that week, they opted to take the port out, which I did not want because I knew the alternative was more needles, more pain, more tears. But they did, and that's what the scar is. As you can see, it left a really big crater there, but it is what it is. It's one of my battle scars. And now, after we got back on track after that, I actually switched to every 6 weeks. I get double the meds every 6 weeks, and they actually call in a special nurse with an ultrasound machine, and they go deep into my arms, and it's better. It's much better. So we're managing that. I had my last checkup just the other day. You were there for that. I hopefully have 2 more, and then hopefully I will be done. Hopefully forever, but done for now at least. All the scans are looking great, and they're all looking good. And so, like I said in the beginning, it's, in the grand scheme of things, it's been an okay journey. It's been my journey and my battle, our journey and our battle, and it has not been fun. It's been a tough year, and if I had it to do over, I wouldn't have done it my girl's senior year, because they didn't need to be home to see this. But it's doing okay. We're doing okay. Everything is going well, and now we're educated, and now we know how dangerous it is, and my family knows, and my friends know, because I talk about it often and spread my facts and spread my education with others, so that you don't have to go through even a mild battle like we have. But that is it. Thank you guys for joining me this month. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you will continue to share awareness, spread awareness, and help me increase education on the dangers of skin cancer. In the meantime, see your dermatologist, see your doctor, get screened, get checked. Skin cancer is more than skin deep.